Hello, everyone, and you are very much welcome to yet another episode of Unfiltered Conversations. Now, what is this unfiltered conversation? Whoever is joining for the first time, it is just what we do in the evening, sitting in the veranda or the couch with our families or friends. And over here, I have another of very wonderful human being co-hosting with me, who is Bhavya Mangla. Welcome, Bhavya Mangla, to your own show. and
Thank you.
and definitely the series that we are doing is close to both of our hearts, which is mindfulness. It is a topic that we all talk about, but how much do we apply is what we need to discuss here. We bring many people on this show to just tell us what mindfulness has done to their life, whether personally, professionally, or otherwise. Today also we have a wonderful guest who is none other than Mrs. Divya Kapoor Singh, and she will be talking about what happens when you apply mindfulness in your life. And she, just to tell about her, she is a wonderful learned L&D coach in a MNC and is an author who has authored two books, Love Has Its Various Ways and Her Wisdom, and is also a Reiki specialist. So let me welcome Divya Kapoor to Unfiltered Conversations. Welcome, Divya.
Thank you so
Hey,
much.
Divya.
Thank you so much for such a warm welcome. Thank you, Bhavya, and thank you, Shweta.
So Divya, this unfiltered conversation is all about mindfulness today. We want to know you have authored a book that has a title Love Has Its Various Ways. Would you like to tell the you to all the listeners who are live right now what this book is all about and what it means to you actually?
Sure. So, everyone, I think firstly, the topic is great. We all need mindfulness. Secondly, I wrote this book when I was 23. Currently, I'm 31. And love has its various ways, as the name says, is love has its various forms. And how important is to have self love within, and also it talks about my own journey about crossing from a struggle-ful time of depression to into the light. And I pinned it down because I felt if I can do it, anyone can do it. And that's what it is about in the simplest ways.
It is not easy what you just said, Divya, that coming out of your own, dark phase and applying self love to it. Uh, was it very difficult for you, or was it something inbuilt, or you got some energies like that really, really helped you to actually come out of that dark phase? Maybe people can get helped because of that, if you can share.
Sure, I think our journey starts from within more than without, not going out, but going within. So I think the depression phase, if I talk a little bit about it, is also because uh, we are comparing ourselves sometimes. We are lost in the battle. We are in a rat race. Or maybe, we had very high expectations and we fall flat with ourselves, not with others. But what really worked for me was meditation. I was also into Reiki, magnified healing. Maybe that also worked. But consistently doing a silence practice with myself is where I think the magic light, where the acceptance happened, where I felt one with myself. And I think once you find yourself, that noise outside silences itself.
Interesting. So, Bhavya, I would like to just ask you here as she talks
Yeah.
about self love and she talks about everything happens within. Your book talks about something similar, self talk, right?
Yes.
Uh, is it something that you would like to add on to that, or like, is it also something related to that only? That everything starts within?
Well, actually, as per my understanding and as per my experience so far, what I've seen is that the most important thing is that how much you can see yourself. Because I think not majority, but everything is happening inside us. There's nothing which is happening outside. So the more we are clear about what is happening inside, what is happening at the moment in our mind, I think then we can take a good decision. And we know, in case even if we are doing something wrong, we know that knowingly and with my knowledge I am doing something wrong. So when you know that you are doing something wrong, even, but with your knowledge, then you own that responsibility. So it's very important that you should understand yourself much more than trying to understand other people or expect the other people to understand. And in fact, I want to understand from Divya this more about it. That I think from the time we started, you are always talking about your own journey, and to know more about yourself. What is your perspective? Why you think that to know yourself is much more important than anything else?
Definitely, I think it's a great question. I think if we don't know ourselves, no matter how many friends or enemies we have, it doesn't matter. Because when I say my own journey, everyone has to go through their own journey. My journey and
Mhm.
your journey can be same, can be similar, but generally we have its own derivation. We find our own understanding out of it. Secondly, I feel it's you have not lived the world if you have not lived with yourself. And
Mhm.
ultimately, even if you get married or even if you don't, you got to live with yourself, whatever age you live. So if it's not a happy state, if it's a frustrated state, a sad state, whatever emotions of negativity is there, then definitely you're not doing justice with yourself. But if you're
Mhm.
peaceful and happy with yourself, you will automatically manifest such relationships with everyone.
Mhm.
Everything starts with us, ends with us. So the magic is there. The darkness is also there because if there's no darkness, we can't find the light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the very beginning, the way you talked about at the age of 23, depression and something like that. I think many years back, depression was not a very common thing, and people were not saying this thing very openly. But now, these days, there are many people who say it very openly, and there are many cases like that, especially among the youngsters. Any specific reason why it is happening at this point of time to the many people? What is your opinion about that?
Yeah, I think people did not know about depression before. It used to be like, everyone's opinion used to be going to a therapist means you're mad. Now the society has opened. So when they see a therapist or a counselor, they say, I think you're depressed. You need to take some
Mhm.
time off or something. Now mental stability, or I would say mental therapy is considered uh, very considered. I think not a privilege anymore, or it's not related to madness. It's more
Mhm.
considered like it's extremely important for you to work throughout the day for that.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think the reason people have depression now more, firstly, is I think now they know that it's called depression. Before it was an unknown word. Second, I believe it's also because now we have a term called Gen Zs.
Mhm.
And Gen Zs are used to instant gratification. If we go by the studies of Harvard, when they
Yeah.
go through instant gratification, they don't have patience. So
Yeah.
when that things doesn't come easily to them, they have a problem because their mindset. We as parents have said it. Whatever you ask us, we'll give you. Our parents said you will get it when you earn it. So
Yeah.
there's a difference of thought process. So when they don't get what they wanted, that also leads them to this journey of depression because they don't know how to deal with hardships in a better way. All they have learned is I'll ask, I'll get. There's no hard work required, there's no labor required, there's no patience required. So all those words have gone out of the system now.
Wonderful. But Shweta, I know you for now many years, but I always seem to you very cheerful, very exciting, and very full of life. So how is it
Yes.
that you have been able to manage this depression so well, or you also had something similar to that in your life?
Sir, I would like to say that I've been like blessed or whatever. I never had to face any depression.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the ones, I mean, for Divya, it takes a lot of courage to share, I would say, her depression story. But it's not something of a big taboo, sir. I would say there was a lot of self love since the start. I would say, and I was surrounded with such a upbringing, which Divya was also. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's just a phase. Even when you're surrounded with a lot of love, even when you're surrounded with a lot of, I would say, security, still
Hmm.
this phase can come. It could be professionally, it could be personally, what's happening inside, as she said. So
Yeah.
for me, I was very content. I think that is very important. And
Hmm.
comparison was never my forte. I was like, never compare, okay, that person is there where I am. All
Hmm.
these things mattered.
Yeah.
Matters. Like, just like what Divya just said, that Zen Z, you just want. I will ask, I'll get it. That shouldn't be there. You should
Hmm.
work for it, earn it, and then enjoy it. So that has been my motto. And it's okay if you fail. You will fail 9 times. The 10th time you will definitely succeed.
True.
So positive mindset and a mindset that can take you places, and believing in yourself that you can do it can definitely makes a big difference in your life.
Badiya. Wonderful.
So,
Wonderful.
Bhavya, I would also like to ask Divya. Divya, you wrote "Love Has Its Various Ways," and then you take, like, obviously you had your own, like you were L&D trainer in many MNCs. I know during your career, but then you wrote Her Wisdom. What was this gap for? Like, and how did Her Wisdom happen? What was it all about?
So I think her wisdom has a different story altogether. So I had a gap, and I think once you've been depressed, it's not that you don't feel it again. It can come again, right? Because you've felt that state. What happens once you cross it? You're strong enough. You know the symptoms. You deal with it faster than before. By God's grace, I had, of course, a lot of family support. Friends love to get me through. After a year, I did not feel like writing anything. Means I used to write articles. It was not like any pressing topic I had where I think I should write because there are so many people writing. But her wisdom came from when my mother put me on marriage portals. So it used to be my questions with the world that we had like when I was like looking out for a groom, I used to get disappointed because I used to think there are basics which are missing now in humans. And then I stopped looking at it like man should be like this or a woman should be like this. Can we not talk how humans should be like? And her wisdom is more of a journey where I think uh, patriarchy cannot be fought with feminazi. And that's where I was also thinking of pursuing PhD when I started writing a paper called "Is Feminazi an Answer to Patriarchy?" That's when I penned it down, and it's where I had actually in conclusion I bring it down that we don't need that fight. We are unnecessarily putting certain pressure on men. We have words now called emasculating. Women just want to say anything and everything. Means it's fair enough if we feel that we were oppressed for ages, but are you happy with yourself is again a question. As Bhavya sir has written about self-talk, right? So again, when you sit with your self-talk, are you happy after doing that? So if you're not, that again comes as an answer that this fight is futile. It doesn't make sense. So that's where I wrote about, there are chapters in it where I said, I'm 27, I'm 28, and I understand that people want to, like, looking out for matches and prospects. Why are we doing it? What if we don't want to get married? So certain questions I think which anyone would relate in our age group in their late 20s now, thankfully, women are not getting married in the early 20s. They get their time off to think what they feel like, what do they want to compliment. But also I would say, yeah, you still, it takes time to find someone who's alike in thought process. That's where it is.
All right. So, Divya, we can safely say that you have found the one that thinks alike, and that is your the one. And but Bhavya, yes,
It's a
I would
journey.
like to also
Yeah, Divya, please,
correct.
please go ahead.
Yeah, Divya,
No,
please
no,
go
I
ahead.
just wanted to
Whatever
say
you
it's
were
a
saying.
journey. I said it's a journey. Even if I found it, it's still a journey. Again, a man-woman fight we keep having, right? So that is again, I think I cannot cross rivers for him. He cannot do it for me. It again, when you come in as companions, also you have to do it for yourselves.
Interesting, interesting. That is a very interesting take. I would say the yin and the yang will always be going on between the men and the women. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Bhavya, what is your take on this particular thing that we just discussed?
Well, actually, it's a very difficult topic. I don't want to talk about that because it's very controversial. You don't know where you're talking and how the other person is
Yes.
going to take it. So
All right.
maybe it all depends on the context. I think then we should talk about it, not in general about
Exactly. Exactly. But thank you, Divya, for telling us that what your second book was all about. Now, coming to like what we are actually discussing, which is like mindfulness. Uh, what do you do? Like, as you are also a L&D trainer in a big MNC. So, how does that help you? Like, what are your like calmness levels? How do you bring that mindfulness in your professional life as well?
Yeah, sure. Um, Coming back, actually, everything relates to mindfulness. How we start our day to how we end our day. What I try to do is, generally we call it in corporates Monday blues. I don't call it. I say Monday is supposed to be a bit longer just to settle your week. My thought process is if I start my Monday sooner, it helps me wind up my Friday better. That's my way of dealing with my stress. I start maybe a couple of hours before my work hours and I don't see, oh, I work 12 hours today. It's about more, I focus on the productivity I bring in. So my brain doesn't tell me I have done too much. It just rather tells me, oh, it was good because I could deliver a couple of tasks. Second, I think anyone can try this, writing down what you want to achieve today. And when you cancel it in the end, it releases some dopamine in your brain and you feel, oh wow, today I did something. Third, I try to get up and meditate at least 10-15 minutes in the morning. If I don't get, then like to at least before sleep, I do it. I think it should become a ritual of your life. It should not be negotiable. Today I did it, tomorrow I will not. Because whenever we start doing it, I know Shweta does it daily as well. If there is a time, if there is no time constraint, I like to get up and I not like to speak for a couple of hours just to be with myself. And that's my me time. So very important, despite having a full-time job, or even if you're in a business, like Shweta as an entrepreneur, uh, to have that time, okay, this couple of hours or half an hour is my time. It is actually where all your energy comes from. We take it lightly, thinking, I don't have time. I have such a busy life. Just give yourself that half an hour, whether it's a gratitude prayer, whether it's just sitting in silence, whether it's actually bowing down to the sun, which is in our Hinduism, right? Whatever your ritual is, which you feel connected to, don't miss it. So my mindfulness practice comes from them. Also being a little, uh, aware what kind of language I'm using. Am I becoming more complaining at work? Because if I become that, at the end of the day, I'll be fighting at home. If I become more thought process, okay, how can I solve it? Can I have a solution mind? Can I have a solution oriented approach? Can I be part of that rather than a problem? That shifts the whole perspective and the day. So these are the few practices I do, and yeah, that's what also I think one anchoring a person should have, whether it's going to a temple or your own temple or gurdwara, masjid, whatever you believe in, whatever is your belief system, please do that because that anchors you, and that's where we believe. I have faith; it will happen. That uncertainty gets killed and that stops bothering us. That's my thought process.
Interesting, interesting, and such amazing takes you have given. I'm sure it will help our viewers to take care of these mindful tips that you have given them. Not only professionally, it will help, but it will help personally as well. I can vouch for that. That brings me to you as well, Bhavya. That you are such a calm personality, and you are also auditor who has to travel so much and who has to go to many companies and audit for them. How do you take care for it? I know Divya has these rituals. I have mine. Then do you also have this kind of me time, or how do you keep your calm?
I think end of the day, the most important thing is that what is most important for you, irrespective of wherever you are, whatever work you are doing. You may be extremely busy or you may not be doing anything. I think in both the cases, if the priority is not there, there is a very high possibility that you will not do that. Generally, in the organization, it is said that if there is something important, give it to someone who is most busy. And the logic behind is that because that person understands the importance of time and that work, and that person will certainly do it. In spite of that, there can be another person who may not be doing anything, but still you don't want to give that because you know that that person does not value it. So I think something similar is with me too. In general, I make sure that whatever is most important for me, I first put them, and then based on that, then I plan my entire day. So once I keep those important things on priority, so in majority of the cases, I will say more than 90% of the cases, I'm able to do whatever I want to do. That's what I can say.
Great, great. Interesting. I would say to all the listeners, there are many interesting takes that are being given by Bhavya as well as Divya, that what all you can do, like to have a very seamless and a calm life. Yes, there can be sometimes little bit of the chaos happening, but you can always
Yeah.
take care of that by sitting with yourself. Having that me time, I think you solve a lot when you have that me time. So, Divya, I would like to ask that uh, was it easy for you to actually go through a certain phase that was did this practice really help you? Like when you are saying that you had this faith in God, whoever we believe in. It can be anyone for anybody. It could be Allah, it could be Shiva, it could be God, Jesus. What is that faith did to you when you had some hard times in your life?
So I think a hard times is part and parcel of life, right? It's also said, if the wave is going like this, it means your heart is beating. That's one first thing, which is very, of course, we have those phases where I don't want to talk, I want to sleep, I want to doze off, whatever. Everyone has their own coping mechanism. But one thing, I think I did have a hard time even after my marriage because change is something, if you get a change which you were expecting, your body and your mind automatically goes for it and adapts it. If you are given a change which you never thought about, it puts you in trauma, right? There's a shaking of the thought process and everything. So one thing which I felt, which eased me, gave me, perspective was firstly, okay, this is the worst which has happened. Okay, and I have lived it through. Great. So let's pat on the back. Let's don't be so harsh on ourselves and say, oh, I can't live with this. So now what's the way out? Do you want to live with this or do you want to find a way out? And this all happens when your mind is calm. Like
Yeah.
Rumi says, when the sand settles, you will see yourself mirroring in the water. Means it's a better way quote written. I'm just giving the gist of it. So when it settles, you feel okay. What are my options? Second, reminding myself that this too shall pass. I don't know right now what it is. I don't understand the learnings, but I'm 100% sure when I cross the bridge I will know why this happened. And I came out stronger and tougher and better. It's like, God has put you through a washing machine, kind of. And having that faith, I think that's what faith does. Because when we don't have faith, we are like, I feel we are headless a bit. Why is it happening? We might, ponder, we lose ourselves in that process. I just feel any kind of faith. People are like I've been part of even Buddhism chanting. I think I pick up any faith. For me, it's like I'm like a water. Let's try this. Let's see what I get it. But of course, I feel very connected to Shiva. You can feel connected to anyone, and just feeling that today, for example, I'll give one example. So I couldn't find a job for 1 year, as everyone understands. That last year job market was very tough. Even LinkedIn predicts that coming couple of years it's employers market. So what can we do? Either we can be in a firm which sticks with us, even if it doesn't, it's not our problem. That's the market. That's what's happening. So I just had this faith that I need to go to. There are temples in northern side of seven Devi temples. I just had this feeling. I'll go. It will happen. I don't know where it came from. I just went. I covered it in 2 days. Of course, you need 3 4 days because I wanted to do it. So I drove it with my husband, and I told him I just want to do it. And by God's grace, I got my offer. Immediately, I came down. And where it came, I have no idea. Why it happened, I have no idea. People can think, oh, this could be, you know, what do we, it's a superstition. Maybe for you, maybe not for me. So if you feel something is working for you, you don't need to prove it to someone. And just feeling that, having that strong anchoring, you never know that couple of things which you keep telling your brain looks for solution. So that speaking mindfully to your brain is very important in mindfulness, that I am going to do it. I will find a way. Universe is going to support me. Universe has my back. What we do is we say negative things. Nothing works out for me. I am never lucky. Universe doesn't support me. I only have enemies. Try and change those thought process and things which you keep saying to your brain. That self talk has to transform to be supportive, anchoring, and having that believing, even if it's placebo, it's working for you. It's amazing. You don't need to prove it to anyone else. That's what I feel.
Wonderful, wonderful, Divya. I think here you talked a lot with respect to the power of acceptance. That once we accept the things, then it is easy for us to maneuver and to see, what comes next. But do you really think that it is easy to accept the things, especially like you said that this too shall pass? Means theoretically, it looks very easy, but when you are passing through that path, at that time, it's not that easy. So,
Yeah.
how you see through, things at that time when something is going on which is not as per your plan or something which is unpredictable?
So I think generally, as you said, right, acceptance takes time. We are in denial. The
Hmm.
first stage is denial, that this cannot happen, and we go crazy, literally banging our heads on the wall. But I think the sooner we accept this has happened, this is what it is. It's not easy, but it's important.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
important. So if you tell your brain, I know it's not easy, I want to cry more, or I would want to, talk about this 10,000 times. Even if you talk about good things, it increases. So negativity will also increase. But at that time, you want to vent out. It's okay. Don't judge yourself. Okay, maybe some people cleared that path in 3 months. You cleared it in 6 months. There is no trophy anyone is giving you. Right,
True.
it's about your own path. And I think it's very important at this phase is to have a support system. Whether it's for women, it's very important to have girlfriends, I'll be honest. Boys have a very different thought process. They don't like to talk. Even if they pen it down, it's great. Penning it down, it's also helpful because you can burn it out later. Okay, all that negativity is out there, and you feel a relief when you burn that paper down. It psychologically, it says it works. Even if we write down our goals, it works. But having that support system, whether it's your friends, family, parents, brother, sister, extremely important, because once you have vented out, you also know how many times can I repeat this?
Yeah.
Now I need to accept it. So once that acceptance happens, and you said this too shall pass is not easy, but it's also not easy to cry about the same problem daily.
Yeah.
How can we cry if we cannot laugh on the same joke? Right?
Yeah.
It's a very old quote. We don't laugh on the same quote. So if you be, it's about us. How soon do we want to solve the problem, or how much do we want to delay it? I think that simple question solves everything for us. And also knowing that, if I am having this faith, this
Yeah.
tough time comes to everyone. I am not the chosen one. It's about me, if I can be a winner or I can be a loser. Now you choose the winning
Mhm.
path, then you have to go through it.
True. 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 Very true. Shweta, what are your final thoughts about it?
So, final thoughts are like she has given a very beautiful. There are many quotes that she has given which one can actually live with. But the most important thing that she talked about, and I think we all follow that also, I'm sure, Bhavya, you must be doing as well, is that mindset. That mindset only helps you.
Yeah.
whether it is about the thoughts, whether it is about acceptance, whether it is about going through something, whether it is about coming out of something. If you have that mindset, anything and everything is possible, like it was for Divya, about
Yeah.
getting her job, the job that she wanted, having that unbreakable faith, having the right language that she should use so that universe listens and gives it to her, and also going through always daily her me time ritual. I think these are some of the things that all comes from a very positive and a solution driven mindset. If
True.
you have that, I think you can solve anything. That's what I would like to say. And thanks a lot, Divya, for coming and giving our listeners these important pointers and being courageous enough to share your personal life also with us. So
You're
thank you.
welcome.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Divya. All the best. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Bhavya and Shweta. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.